Welcome to Speak. I'm Joy Taylor. I'm joined by Super Bowl champion Will Blackman.
My bad, Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Men in Black. Look at this, the Men in Black.
Rude.
Man, he called me like, hey, what you wearing this morning, P? I saw him throw a little brown with a black bottom. And look at this guy. Look, with the glasses. That's crazy.
So I just didn't get the memo. I'm pure in bright pink and no glasses. I see how it is. NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce. NBA free agency is going crazy.
That's popping right now.
Start this week, the Bucks made some big moves this morning. Milwaukee waived Damian Lillard to make cap space to sign big man Miles Turner to a 4-year, $107 million deal. Lillard is reportedly okay with the release and said will allow him to rehab in Portland around his family. But Giannis was reportedly not happy about the Bucks moving on from the 9-time All-Star. So, Paul, how should Giannis feel after the Bucks moves today?
Well, he should feel this. And I'll tell you, the Bucks have done everything for Giannis over the past 4 or 5 years to try to make the team better, to try to win a championship. From trading Middleton after he, showed that he couldn't be the same contributor on a championship team, to hiring the coach that he wanted, and now you sign in Miles Turner. And the reason you waive Dame is to make room for Miles Turner because Dame won't be there next year. Now, I know as Giannis is looking at the roster, he's looking like saying, hey, this is not a championship roster as of today. But I'm sure the books are still exploring more opportunities, more ways to try to make the team get better. And when you're a superstar player like Giannis, that's all you can really ask for. Because I've seen and been on teams to where there's no moves being made. There's regression amongst the trades that we're making. And so the grass is never green on the other side. As much I would like to see Giannis go somewhere to a place to where he has a better opportunity to win a championship, that's not guaranteed. We've seen this happen with Kevin Durant. We've seen this happen, with a number of our stars who move and hoping for a better situation and a chance at a title. I just think you need to be patient in this situation. Now, he has some years left on his contract. He can extend. He's won a championship. They're going to build a statue of him in Milwaukee, and they're doing everything they can to get better. Is he happy today? Probably not. But at the end of the day, the East is still wide open. Now, I'm seeing Atlanta make moves. I'm seeing other Indiana regress, Celtics regress. I'm seeing teams that was at the top regress. Now, Milwaukee has to just keep getting better. He has to stay patient. And things are turned. Do I have them as a contender in the East? Well, with the way the East is looking, everybody's a contender. I'm like, who's the favorite? You can't count out Cleveland, of course. They probably come back to the same team. And also the Knicks. The Knicks will get better. They have some pending moves coming. So Bucks are right there. So I wouldn't just act so fast if I was Giannis.
Yeah, I feel like they've always been just right there. But in this case, obviously Dame's not going to be there because he moved on, and also you lose a scorer, you get Miles Turner. But I just feel like right now he's on the back nine of his career, and he's still in a situation where he's trying to win right now. So I just feel like based on his timeline, I don't know if it matches the Bucks. I feel like I mentioned yesterday in terms of when you win a championship, you kind of have more time to make some move and do whatever. You're not so pressed to try to win another one. I feel like in this situation, like they're trying to make moves where that's going to balance their team. It does work out getting Miles Turner because now for spacing, you have another big next to Giannis. But I think right now, I don't know if what the organization's doing is matching up with Giannis's timeline.
I don't know what he's upset about. Yeah. If Dame is okay with it, he got his money. He wasn't going to be available next year anyway.
Right.
He had to make a move to continue to compete next year, knowing that Dame was going to be out for essentially the entire season. Miles Turner seems like a nice addition. This is my thing with the Bucks. I understand that Giannis is doing the heavy lifting, as he should. He's a former MVP and a champion and considered one of the best players in the league. He should be doing the heavy lifting. But I don't feel like the Bucks haven't been active. They did add Damian Lillard. They weren't expecting him to get hurt. I don't know how much more you can ask from the Bucks organization. And when you're talking about, Paul, it's not always greener on the other side. Where is he going to go that is going to make more aggressive moves consistently. Like, where is
Right.
he going to walk into that has the coaching, that has the culture, that has the depth of the roster, that has the availability to pay him and keep that depth? If he was to force a trade, like, I can't imagine that he's upset with the way that it was handled with Dame, because I mean, unless we get a report to say otherwise, I'm of the belief that they were having conversations with Dame about this before they pulled this move. I don't think they just like cut Dame
That's
and
just
then
an excuse. That's just like, you know how you just like any little thing you do, you get mad at somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, that's what that was.
yeah, when you
Like,
when you're
when
ready to
already
go,
ready
you are
to go,
looking for things that are
any little
irritating.
thing. That's
Do you
how
feel like the Bucks are losing their grip though? Like if you're Giannis and you're on that team, do you feel like based on what's happening in the league, like do you feel like your team is losing their grip on still being truly competitive to be a championship contender?
No, I'm with Paul. I think they are right there in the East.
Yeah. As long as
Like,
you
there's
got
nobody
Giannis.
in the East, including the Cavs and the Knicks, that I'm just penning in for the finals this year. I mean, we did
Right.
not expect the Pacers to be there.
Right.
They were there and took it to 7 against a really great OKC team. Coming back this year, the Knicks still have to hire their coach. The Cavs have a great regular season, and we're not able to have the success in the postseason that they expected. There's nobody in the East that is completely dominant right now. If you have a top 5 player, a former MVP, a champion, and someone that's putting up 30 points per game in Giannis, with this roster around him, you should be able to move through the playoffs and get past the first round. Like, at some point, I don't know like how many more points you expect Giannis to score, but like, if this was another superstar, we would at some point put it at his feet, because they are making moves. It's not that they're not always turn out to be the right moves, but I think bringing Dame in was something that put them in the expectations of being contenders.
Yeah, when Dame went there, I was like, whoa.
Right.
You know, this
So
is-
what can he really complain about?
I don't think there's nothing to complain about. See, if I'm the GM for the Bucks, I'm calling Giannis into the office. I'm like, look, dog, these are the free agents. These players is on the block. See, they all got every general manager up in their office, well, most of them, the good ones. They got all the teams. They got notable free agents listed. They got options, everything possible. And I'll be like, look, this is what's possible for us. Now, they made this move for Turner because this is what was available. You got to understand, Milwaukee is not a free agent destination. Turner got the money that he wasn't probably going to get in Indiana. The reason, because that was kind of like mind-boggling that he left, because I thought he was a sure shot to return to Indiana. But then I look at Indiana and Milwaukee, it's kind of like the same city. You know, it's not much to do, cold.
Midwest.
Steak and
Midwest.
shake. You know,
Steak and
that's all. That's it. Both got a little casino, whatever.
Don't
So he was
hate
like,
the
it was a
city-
lateral.
the
That was a
city
lateral
shade.
move as far as like nightlife. You know, so it wasn't like he was going for brighter lights. He was just like, oh, I'll get more money over here. That's cool. I can drive down the street there. Cool. So he has to understand the realization that, hey, they're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying to get better, but unless, Giannis, I need you to get on the phone now. Hey, how about you helping this? Why don't you call some of these guys that don't think Milwaukee's afraid? Because don't you hear this? You know, all the time you hear about LeBron reaching out to D. Wade, you know, reaching out to Anthony Davis, reaching out to guys like he's playing GM. The door is open, Giannis. That's what I would like kind of advise him. You know, if he's not, only if he's not happy though, but if he's happy, oh, everything cool then. You know, live your life, go ahead and keep dominating. You know, hopefully y'all get back to the title game.
Well, over to the NFL. TJ Watt skipped Steelers mandatory minicamp due to ongoing negotiations for a new deal. Despite the holdout, the Steelers reportedly have no plans on moving on from Watt. However, other teams are reportedly interested in trading for Watt, and that interest has risen the longer his holdout goes on. So, Will, should the Steelers consider any trade offers for TJ Watt?
Not just no, but hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah, like this is crazy. Like TJ Watt is one of the most dominant, not just defensive players, but just football players in the entire league. He's the best player on the team. It's clear when he's not on the field. What are they, 1-11 when he's not playing? He affects every part of the game defensively. He creates turnovers. Because of his dominance on defense, it actually kind of buys time for the offense if they're making mistakes. So to do this, if you're going to trade something like that, then you must just say, hey, we're going to tank. We're going to be in a complete rebuild. Like, we have no business, keeping this guy. So for them to even consider it, if I'm them, I'm hanging up every single phone call. I'm not answering anything. However, everyone is tradable. I have seen it with my own eyes. But there's no, I would not even entertain this whatsoever. This is crazy. This is crazy.
But if you're not going to entertain it, wouldn't you be getting a deal done?
Well, I mean, you got him trying to get a deal. You got Micah trying to get a deal. You got Trey trying to get a deal. So I don't know. I feel like Micah's waiting for somebody. Someone's waiting for somebody else. So it's hard. It's almost like they're waiting for Bengals to get theirs done. I knew you were going to say something crazy again. Order in the court.
No, you said they waiting to get the deal done.
Get the deal done. Man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, whoa.
Well, so the Steelers consider trade offers for TJ
Like
Watt.
Will said, this is a no-brainer. You know what I almost have to believe? I have to believe that there is already a deal done. And they're just trying to figure out the guarantee. You know, like I have to believe this. Come
Can
on,
I trademark that, Darnell?
You know, they just trying to figure out the money, move it here. I have to understand because when you pick up Rodgers, DK, then you pick up Jalen Ramsey, you like, y'all going all in pretty much on this year.
Right.
And you know that this is a key piece to the defense. If y'all trying to say, hey, we got better from a year ago and we won 10 games with Russell Wilson, we really got a shot with Rodgers. We feel like if he can turn back the clock a little bit, TJ, on the defensive side, they could keep us in the game. Look, they built on defense. Steelers have always been built on their defense. That's just the identity of who they are as a franchise. You got one of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game. And we already know the numbers. I know Joy has them right there in front of us. She's going to let you know these gaudy numbers that he has over the years. But this, to me, is just like, come on. They have to be behind the scenes.
If I'm Aaron or DK, there's no way I'm coming to the Steelers knowing that he's going to get traded away. So it's crazy talk.
Well, I think it's only crazy talk unless someone is willing to give you
I'm not hearing it.
A first-round pick, like several first-round picks, because you are in the process of next year looking for your franchise quarterback. And you're hopefully, if things follow according to the plan, going to be so good that you will be out of.
Right, it'd have to be a haul.
Yes, it would have to be an ungodly haul.
Right.
Unless it's that, they should hang up the phone expeditiously. TJ Watt is the core of the team.
Man.
And unless someone's offering you something egregious, literally an offer that you cannot refuse, they're not going to win without him. It's not even a conversation. He has won games for them.
True.
When he's done the scoring when the offense can't score. 1-11 without him. The difference between him being on the field and off the field it's almost embarrassing. Like it's saying he's like a game changer does a disservice to what he does on the field for the Steelers organization. It is a dramatic difference when he's not available. So him not being there completely changes the fabric of this organization and what they are able to do. And Mike Tomlin being a defensive coach, the Steelers being a team with a defensive identity, losing TJ Watt just changes everything. I mean, this is a deal that he has to get done. He's going to be 31 in October. Mm-hmm. This may potentially be his last major deal, just based off of age, forgetting the accomplishments and the numbers that he has. He's a legendary player, but what he brings to the identity of this team is not replaceable. It's not that you can bring in another great defensive player. He is the identity of the Steelers.
Right.
He's the best player that the Steelers organization has. Since he's been in the league in 2017, he's number one in sacks, number one in quarterback hits, number one in pressures. He's number one in tackles for loss. It's egregious almost to trying to find him and the essence and the value that he brings to the Steelers organization. So unless someone comes to you and says, listen, we're giving you something that is going to be able to put you in a position to move up into the draft and get your quarterback next year, I don't know why they would even entertain this.
Yeah, and then look who he's going against in the division. You got Burrow. Right?
Lamar Jackson.
You got Lamar. Like, you need a premier pass rusher to that degree, not just a guy who can get quarterback sacks. Like, you need a guy to that degree who can sit there and make plays. So, I mean, yeah, it's crazy talk.
It's crazy talk unless someone's talking about giving the Steelers enough draft ammunition that they won't have to worry about where they finish this season and where they are in the draft because they'll be able to move up. But do the Steelers need Watt to be competitive this season?
There's no question. There's no question that they need him based on everything you just read off. So my mind is like which team you think will be crazy enough to make a haul like that? Like, who can say we can put TJ Watt right now and truly puts us right in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Like, I don't think anyone's crazy enough to do that.
San Fran?
They might be crazy enough to do that.
San Fran?
Yeah. I mean,
They just paid
TJ
Purdy.
Watt
They
in
might
San
be crazy.
Francisco, if they could afford him, would be crazy.
Right. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are some teams that definitely, what TJ Watt brings to the table, if you have the draft capital and you're a team that's right there.
And you have your quarterback.
You have your quarterback and they're locked up and like that money's already accounted for and you can make that work. TJ Watt is somebody that makes you a Super Bowl contender right away. I mean, he's part of the reason why we're even discussing the Steelers being competitive. So I think it changes the conversation about the Steelers this year if he's not there. But I also do not believe he's not going to be a Steeler. Like, I think they're going to get a deal that he's
he'll
going to
be
be
the
there.
single most reason they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of doubt surrounding Pittsburgh right now, and I feel like they got better. I feel like they're better than a year ago, and I know that stretch they had those last 6 games. It's going to be a difference this year because they do have the gauntlet of a schedule down the stretch. But you got Rodgers, and anything can happen. Like, I love Russell Wilson, but he's not Rodgers. You know, a guy who can just he can have a relapse. Think about, he can pretend like he's the MVP of the league again and just have one of them moments. You know, so, you know, those days I had relapses with the Clippers in practice. You know? Not in the game.
You were talking, John, getting
Not
you
in the game, practice. Not in the game, practice.
Like, oh, that's
You call game in practice?
Yeah, I call game in practice for the Clippers.
all the time.
All the time.
Oh, man. Coming up, are the Lakers no longer a big draw for top NBA free agents? That's next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. Caitlin Clark ran away with the fan vote for the WNBA All-Star Game, but she finished 9th for guards when it came to the player votes. Paul, this is definitely making the rounds on social media. People are upset. What do you make of this?
This is just pure hate. It's just pure hate at this point. It's like, come on now. She is not. How many teams is in WNBA? 12? It's like 12 teams. You can't tell me she's the 9th best guard?
She's missed 8 of 17
No, but that ain't what we talking about. We talking about who's the top guard.
Right, but when you're talking about All-Star, even in the NBA has a certain amount of games that you have to play. Now, she's been hurt, so it's not, that's more for load management. But she has missed a significant amount of games. And the Fever are 8-8. They're 8th in the WNBA standings.
She was voted, what, the 9th best guard by her peers?
Yeah.
That's hate. That's hate.
That's
like when they hated on Tyrese Halliburton, overrated. There's something about Indiana.
It's a pattern. It happened to Candace Park when she came in. They felt like they just gave her the crown, so she got body checked.
MVP.
It happened to Skylar. They called her a celebrity hooper,
but
right?
This is hate.
But it happened to Sabrina too. She was injured, and so they call her overrated as well. It's a pattern. With young players.
Nah, I don't want to hear this pattern.
Is it not a pattern with the young players coming in?
This is hatred.
But that's hate too.
Like how you voted, and I understand it's a popularity contest, and you are the most popular WNBA history. But to say that the reason that she's popular is because she's pretty damn good. Like, come on, let's just call it like it is. She's a pretty damn good player. I mean, she's leading in assists, one of the top scorers, came in with a splash. She's not the 9th. Come on, ladies, let's get it together.
She's 8th amongst guards, 18.2 points per game.
Yeah, but she's the best passer in the game.
Was she 18-8?
She's 8th. She's scoring 18, 5, and 8.
Yeah, but like I know her numbers don't really speak, but we just understand her impact.
Yeah, but like this is the problem with this Caitlin Clark conversation. People like want to smush together the production and the accolades and the accomplishments and results with the popularity. No one's arguing the popularity.
Yeah,
In fact, the fans have voted her the most popular. Like they voted for her. But her peers are looking at the production, and she missed 8 of 17 games.
Right.
Like she's going to miss the Commissioner's Cup final game tonight. She's missed 8 of 17 games. Fever are 8-8 because of that. So when you're talking about her being voted 9th amongst guards, is that hate or is it the reality that she hasn't participated that much in this season because she's been hurt?
Okay, so are we?
If a guy missed half of the season up until the All-Star and didn't make the All-Star team or was 9th in voting for the All-Star, no one will be complaining about it because he missed time.
So if LeBron misses half the season next year, we're still going to vote him one of the top players. If we say, who's the top 5, 10 players?
Just
Do we have to compare her to LeBron?
No. I mean,
Just give him context here.
Are we voting
If Wemby, right, somebody that we think is going to be extremely popular, someone that is obviously very good, someone that has come into the league with a lot of praise and expectation and excitement. If Wemby missed half of the games before the All-Star, if this happened, we would not be out here screaming and crying about hate.
He's not the most popular player in the league.
But I'm saying, are we basing it off your production this year, or are we just saying who's the best guard?
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about voting by her peers.
And she's almost averaging a double-double.
The voting by your peers, that's understandable if you missed the game.
If you missed the games.
Yeah, if you missed the games and we're voting based off
that's
this
fair.
year.
I'm agreeing with
I agree.
I just think people have to stop smushing everything together.
But
like
we say,
saying that someone is popular, she is incredibly popular.
He said that.
But that's not arguable. Like the numbers speak for themselves. She does bring an extreme amount of eyeballs to the game. She is obviously incredibly popular, but we are talking about voting by her peers. She missed 8 of 17 games this year.
But like this is what I'm gonna say. If popularity and game kind of go hand in hand, because think about this: in every sport, whoever's voted the most popular is usually gonna be like a top 5, top 10 player for the most part. So for me to say that she's a top 9 guard, like even in the game she's played, she's better than a lot of those in front of her, even if she's only played half the season, because you got to understand what her impact is when she plays. And so it's not hate if you're just saying, hey, we're basing this on your season off of just missing half the games. But if you look at the impact when she played, that's
For
hate.
sure.
That's hate.
When she was available, she is an incredibly impactful player.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So if we can't say
I think we all are
she's
saying
the 9th best guard. But like if we just say, all right, what do we rank? If
Ninth
we just say we ain't looking out about production this season.
No. We are talking about production this season because this is about this year's All-Star game. This isn't a voting of like let's rank everybody throughout like who exists in the WNBA and their resume. It's about this year.
This vote should have never came out.
You know it was. Hey, you know it was.
This one, that vote right there should have never came out.
That media team is cooking right now.
This is the golden goose.
Back
Come on, what are we
to
doing?
the NBA. Yesterday we talked about which big man the Lakers should go after, but their options just became a lot more limited. Brooke Lopez agreed to a 2-year deal with the Clippers, and Clint Capella agreed to a 3-year deal with the Rockets. 7-footer DeAndre Ayton remains available, but there are reports that Ayton was difficult to deal with in Portland. So, Paul, do the Lakers need to make a big push for DeAndre Ayton?
If that's their only option, if there's no trade out there, I think they should. I think they should give it a shot, because I think you can get him at a discount at this point. Because when you're a young player, he's only 26 years old. This was the #1 pick of the draft 6 years ago. The same draft that featured Luka Doncic and I believe Trae Young was in this class.
Yeah, 2018.
So if you can say, hey, we'll get him at a deal. Look, we're going to get him in a culture where you have LeBron and Luka. It's Los Angeles. Guys he's going to probably respect. And usually sometimes a change of scenery can make the light bulb click for a young player. And that's something that they hope can do, because the potential is there. I mean, obviously you look at him, he's giving you 16 and 10. That's solid for a young big man. He's a lob threat. He can block shots. So the potential is there. Now, if they're saying the only thing he needs to fix, is some attitude adjustments, I'm sure a couple of vets can work with that. But if you can come here, young fella, and put the work in, because obviously he's been putting the work in. You don't just walk into the NBA and average 16 and 10. So you know he can play and he's putting work in. So I think this will be a good move for the Lakers, knowing that this is a different type of culture than he had in Phoenix. Yeah, he had Chris Paul, and I'm sure Chris Paul had somewhat influence, but he's young. I'm the #1 pick. So he's probably just feeling himself. And, and then you got the Portland where it was a lot of young guys, a little more no vets around.
He felt more seasoned. Like, I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah, but he wasn't no vets, real vets. It was like a couple, but like think about it, you're going to have the most respected vet in your locker room with LeBron. So I think this is a move you almost have to make, and then if there's another move you can make via trade, you do it. But you get him for an insurance policy in case you can't get nobody else.
Yeah, I say absolutely not just because of fit, but really because of urgency. Everything that you listed in terms of obviously last year with AD being gone and then missing out on Capella and Lopez, and all the reasons you mentioned as well. Like he's going to flourish in a structured system with guys like LeBron, being the leader there. Also, he provides that defense. He provides athleticism. He provides youth. So all the reasons you said, I agree. They need another big swing man out there. So I think they should just really go after it because honestly, after you look at all the moves that have been made, like who else are they going to go after? And plus two, you can't have again LeBron logging 35 minutes a game this year and then all of a sudden get bounced in the first round again. Like you need somebody else out there that could be rotational and be a starter.
Well, I mean, we had this conversation yesterday about who should they go after, Clint Capella, Brook Lopez, or DeAndre Ayton. Clint Capella is now with Houston. Brook Lopez is now with the Clippers. Miles Turner is with the Bucks. So very quickly, guys are getting taken off the table.
I mean, it happened ASAP. It was like boom, boom, boom.
Within a day. And Rob Pelinka said getting a big was something that was a priority. Well, there's already names being taken off the board.
Joy. Listen, if you ain't done nothing by the 4th of July, free agency, you get scraps. I'm telling you, I didn't see the free agency a lot of years. If you ain't getting somebody before the 4th of July, then the rest ain't really going. Whoever you picking up after the 4th, that can't really help you. They you just trying to fill out your roster.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a position of need. Like they need a lob threat, they need rim protection and rebounding. And we had this conversation yesterday. 2 of the guys that we were talking about are already employed. So I think they should go after Ayton and they should go after him fast. At this point, his injury history, his reports about him getting along with people or all that doesn't even really matter at this point. Like you're getting to the desperate time of the year.
Yeah, you got to go into the barbecue with the deal. If you in the barbecue and your deal ain't done, food ain't gonna taste as good.
You look at your phone the whole time.
You can't even eat your ribs right. You over here at the barbecue on 4th of July, like, am I getting a call with my agent? I can't even operate at the function.
You're eating by yourself.
I'm at the function and my head is not even there. I'm over here like the family around. I'm over here like, I'm looking for that deal. I'm a free agent. I'm telling you, guys be stressed at the barbecue when they ain't got the deal done.
That's celebrating fake Independence Day the same way. The Lakers also were not able to retain Dorian Finney-Smith, who left for Houston. So, Paul, do you think the Lakers are still a marquee free agent destination?
I think we're in the times that, just because Lakers are a big market, that doesn't matter to guys anymore. They're like living in L.A. and sunshine and the bright lights and Hollywood. It just doesn't matter anymore because I'm seeing small market teams pick up big time free agents and winning championships. They're making the right moves. And so, I look at what the Lakers have done since 2002. They've had quite a bit of they've had a number. 2022, they picked up like 8, 9 different guys. Same thing in 23, but their most notable free agent in the last 3 years, Dennis Schroeder. I mean, he's a solid player, but then he didn't even they offered him a deal, he didn't even take it. He went to free agency.
Agent.
Yeah, that was bad agent work. That was bad agent work because he got offered a big deal and then turned it down, and then, the rest is history. I don't want to spill his beans all over the national television. So, but I'm not sure LA is that place. They've done it via trade. LeBron was the last big free agent they got back in 2017 or 18, I believe. 18, I believe, around there. He's been in the league 30 years, so I forget. But, and Los Angeles, and I'm looking at the Clippers too. Los Angeles, it's crazy that I see Brook Lopez go to the Clippers and not the Lakers because this is a position of need for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And he knows that. The Clippers don't need a center. They got Zubac. Like, the Lakers, like he can go there and start. And he didn't want to go there. So that's telling me, like, guys really don't care about going and playing for the Lakers organization anymore. It's just, it's all about your owner. It's a new owner. Maybe they're not offering the deals like they did when new ownership come in, but, it hasn't been a significant place for free agents in quite some time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the Lakers, they still obviously have brand power based on who they are, but it is not. That doesn't really. The destination doesn't really matter to players anymore, especially these younger guys. They want to go somewhere where there's more structure, there's more development, there's more of a vision, And it's kind of like the Lakers, based on what's going on in the league free agency-wise, they're taking a back seat to teams like OKC and Boston, what have you, in terms of that. So, yeah, I mean, it is cool. It's a good spot to go, like, branding-wise, but it's not a guaranteed landing spot like it once was. Like, until I guess the Lakers showed they're into more of building the roster for long term, it doesn't really seem like that's a place where guys want to go because the destination doesn't matter anymore.
I'm not totally ready to say that the Lakers are cooked in that regard, but...
Cooked.
We didn't say cooked?
Cooked. The Lakers is over 30. They cooked.
Oh, my God.
They cooked.
3 days, throw them out.
The Lakers, y'all over 30. Cooked.
I knew we were getting into the show somewhere. Well, to me, LA is always going to be a marquee destination, but they do have the Clippers here. And, I mean, the Clippers have been, what? They got a new facility. They got an owner that likes to spend money. Like that.
Man.
If it's not just about winning right now, and some guys are just in a position where, like, I'm going to go get my money and try to compete. And the Clippers have a good team, even if they haven't been able to get over the hump. So there are certain benefits to being a Laker. There's a lot of money that you can make outside of being a Laker as well. And if you do win with the Lakers, that goes a really long way.
I seen Dalton Connect on a billboard. He a rookie. He was on that billboard with the lemon. The lemon. He got a billboard, though.
Yeah.
He's been on a billboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got a billboard, though. He a rookie. That's what I'm saying. But, it ain't like it used to be.
Well, the Rockets have been busy this offseason. They traded for Kevin Durant and also signed Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella to deals, along with several other roster moves already. Houston is second to OKC in the odds to win the West next season, and the reigning champs just locked in SGA with a 4-year, $285 million Supermax deal. So, Will, you think the Rockets are the biggest threat to the Thunder in the West?
I mean, they might be. Adding Capella, KD, Finney-Smith, and keeping Fred VanVleet, Jabari, all those guys, I think they could be. I mean, obviously, OKC did not get worse, but I do like what the Rockets did. They not only brought in some star power, but they also filled the gaps that they needed with the star power. So I think if KD is able to blend with the young group and have great chemistry, I mean, I think right now they are the closest. They are the closest. So right now, I would say might be, but I think they're the closest.
Man, let me tell y'all something. I am completely sold on the sold. I might get me an apartment down there this year. I'm sold on the Rockets.
Sold.
Hey, get me a deal at Papa Do's. I'm coming to Houston. I'm in there. Let me tell you what the Rockets is going to do. You got Ime Udoka, who has great culture, who turned around a team who wasn't supposed to be the number 2 seed with a young squad. You add KD. You add Dorian Finney-Smith, Clint Capella. You signed your young. Everybody's happy over there. Everybody signed. You got you a go-to scorer. You got vets. You got a good leader in your dog. I am sold on the Rockets. Hey, sign me up. I'm going to Vegas. I'm throwing some cheese down. I got them in the conference finals. I'm telling you, it's going to be them. I'm mark this down right now. I'm telling you right now. Houston versus OKC, the Western Conference Finals. You can book that right now. Get my hotel apartment in Houston. I'm going to be down there for the conference finals right now. If Houston don't make the conference finals, I'm telling you.
What?
I'm going to tell you later. But I got them. I'm sold on them.
Who wins?
I'm glad you're.
I'm going to tell y'all later.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell y'all later.
No, I love the moves that the Rockets have made this offseason. As you mentioned, all of them re-signed Steven Adams. They extended Ime, traded for KD, re-signed Fred VanVleet, extended Jabari Smith, signed Dorian Finney-Smith, signed Clint Capella. they're going in on what they were building last year. They were ahead of schedule last year and made some really, really smart moves this offseason. And I think KD is going into a place that has a strong culture, has good coaching, has some depth and veteran presence there as well. I think Houston should be really excited about what they've done. I think you have to give the nod to the Thunder, obviously, but outside of the Thunder, the West is much more wide open than we are really giving it credit for.
It
like
really
you do have the Nuggets
from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah, I think people are a lot closer. Like there's no one who's really out of it, or you can just say is going to be
like Minnesota's right
in the
there.
finals.
Like
Minnesota's right there. Yeah, the Nuggets are right there. Like the Rockets. There's really a lot of teams that can need one piece, one thing that can put them back into contention for the finals. So I love what the Rockets have done. I think they should be really excited about it. Coming up, Saquon just revealed why he goes all out when he faces the Commanders and Cowboys. You'll want to hear what he said next on Speak.
Like hurdle backwards.
Saquon Barkley signed with the Eagles last offseason after the Giants let him test the free agency market, and Saquon said he still feels salty that the other two teams in the NFC East didn't reach out to him. Speak up, Saquon.
From Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I played against them, so it made sense. And
So-
we got a ring, so it worked out.
I know. So the Commanders wasn't in the.
Nah, I never heard a word from Commanders. That's why it's BTA when I see him.
Will, are you surprised that neither of these teams gave Saquon a call?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I feel like if I'm Dallas, I'm thinking I don't have a chance. I'm thinking I'm not really gonna call and reach out. And plus, too, I played for the Giants, and I worked for the Cowboys, and just front office wise, it's different business wise. So for them to do business with each other is already kind of sketchy and interesting. The same thing. I was with the Redskins, so just them doing business alone, I know it's weird and super interesting, but I feel like if I'm either one of those teams, I don't feel like I have a chance to call him. So why even waste my time?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And they 100%.
I'm not even for that. For that one, I'm not even in the gym, Joy. I'm not even.
Philly was?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean they were. But I feel like I wouldn't have a chance. That's why I feel.
Philly ain't scared.
Philly's
Scared
not
money
scared.
don't make no money, Will.
Yeah, I agree. I
See how many
agree.
more cliches I can fit into this.
Listen,
I agree.
You have to do your due diligence. You have to just throw some fillers out there. You got to be like, you never know. You got to throw that bait out there. You just listen. The Knicks knew I wasn't gonna take the job. They called me anyway. They had to see. I was like, no, I'm good. And so, but they threw the filler out.
But Jerry ain't gonna pay that bread.
You know what I'm saying?
Jerry should have paid that bread.
So
Jerry, no question.
You had Saquon and you had Derrick Henry in your backyard. They didn't even call him either.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what is going on? What are their practices over there? They haven't been known to really pick up notable free agents either. They draft well. They just don't. They just don't.
Judge Joy.
They just don't. And then they draft well. They made a good move this summer, picking up Pickens.
yeah.
Pickens. That was a good move.
My point is, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would have made the call.
You got to make the call.
I would have made the call, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Dallas didn't make the call because that's just what Jerry doesn't do. He's going to sit there and try to work on his homegrown guys. Had to pay Dak, did that. Had to pay CD. Now he's working on trying to pay Micah. So he's working on that alone. And basically the way they built their teams is, yes, running the football. So getting a running back is key. But they build through the offensive line. They build through the defensive line. Second round, they went and got Donovan Ezerako out of Boston College, another pass rusher like Michael Parsons. So, that's just how they built their team. So for Dallas, I am not surprised that they did that. And then you go to Washington you got a new head coach in Dan Quinn. You got a new GM, and so they're really trying to build their team how they want it from scratch. And for them to go out there and get Saquon wasn't part of what they wanted to do because they had other areas they were trying to fix. Get more weapons on the outside for Jaden Daniels. Do more things on defense.
Well, they didn't know how ready they were to win at the time.
Yeah, Philly knew, okay, we get this dude, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, Washington kind of makes more sense to me because they have a rookie quarterback and they had a lot of things to figure out.
They have a whole new everything.
Yeah. Dallas is...
That's just, I'm not surprised because that's not what they do.
You're right, that makes sense.
It's worked out so well for them, what they do.
I'm just saying.
Well, let's talk about Dallas. The NFC East is quickly becoming one of the more competitive divisions in the league. The Super Bowl champion Eagles and the NFC runner-up Commanders are both looking to repeat their incredible seasons, leaving the Cowboys stuck in third. However, people within the division think of the addition of George Pickens as something that will tilt things in Dallas's favor and that he'll be a major player this season. So, Paul, are the Cowboys flying under the radar?
I think they are flying under the radar because, they, like I said, they added Pickens. You still got CeeDee Lamb. Dak is coming back. They haven't signed Michael Parsons, which I expect them to do. But I just don't. I'm trying to figure out a path that gets them to second place in this division, and I just don't see it yet. They still haven't established run. They haven't established a run defense. And there's just so many little things. You haven't signed Micah back. Yes, the offense should be significantly better. And maybe flying under the radar is a good thing because for the most part, the Cowboys have been in the thick of things outside of last year. When you look at the previous years of them winning 12 games every year for the past few years, everybody expected them to be good. So maybe they can get back to that to where they're healthy. They got a new coach who's been there in the same system. It's probably going to be the same system and things of that nature. But this may be a good thing for Dallas because when they have the spotlight on them, they've done okay, but it just hasn't benefited them and doing anything significant in the playoffs. So maybe this could be the year where they take teams by surprise and get off to a good start. Now, everything's going to tell me something. I'm really watching the first game of the season. They play at Philly. Now, if they're competitive in that game, or even if they win that game, we're going to come back here like, hold on. Dallas may have something. And they got some talent over there. But I just want to see how they handle the defense. How is that going to play out? And see what type of run game they come with this year.
Yeah, the star is always going to be the star, but I believe they are flying under the radar, and this is exactly how they want it. No crazy, no drama, no splashes in the headlines, nothing crazy, and pretty much very, very little expectations. You have Coach Brian Schottenheimer, really good ball coach, but first-time head coach. And then you have Eberflus taking over for defense. And so, again, you don't have the same expectations. And so now they get to actually focus on, team building, right? They get to actually focus on just working, doing what they're doing here. Schottenheimer is setting a new tone as a head coach. So I feel like for them right now, just no expectations. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to pan out. And so the whole offseason, good things have been happening despite Micah not getting a contract. He's been there training. He's been there working. He's not holding out. And so just overall, yes, the energy is good there. It's quiet, how it needs to be. But if they do win that first game, then it's going to get right back to where it was.
We're going to run into them delusional Cowboys. We can win the Super Bowl after one game.
Well, I don't think they're flying under the radar because I think they're slotted where they're supposed to be, which is...
Well, every year you know how it is.
Yeah, it is. I know how it is. But that's what I'm saying. Flying under the radar to me means that they are better than we think they are, to me. And we're just not paying attention to them. Mm-hmm. I think they're flying under the radar because we're all assuming that they're not better.
Right. That's how I view the question, how they see it. And plus the other teams in that division
are significantly better than them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're flying under the radar because the expectations are low because we don't have expectations for them this year, rightfully
Correct.
So. They've got a first-time head coach within the staff of the guy they fired. Their pass game production wasn't the issue. It would have been nice for Dak to have another weapon, but he did have CeeDee Lamb, who's putting up incredible numbers. Dak's managed to put up big numbers despite not having a certified second weapon. So, I think their pass game will be better, but they were third in passing offense in 2023 and 11th in 2024. It's not like that was the issue. We know the issue is running the ball and stopping the run. Have they really fixed either of those things? I don't know. We'll find out. But we've kind of always assumed what they're going to look like offensively, which is Dak is going to throw a lot. They're going to struggle to run the ball. The defense is going to give up a bunch of run yards, and they'll beat average to below average teams and lose to playoff teams. So I don't think that they're better than the Eagles or the Commanders. So having them in third place in the division, I think, is where they should be slotted. And I don't have really high expectations for them this year. I don't think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, and the key thing for Dallas, too, is it is going to be the health of the defense. Because even going back to when, when they were giving up all those rushing yards, it's because every year, unfortunately, they have linebackers going down. You had Van Der Esch going down. You know, you had Overshown going down. You have all these linebackers getting injured. And so, therefore, going back to Dan Quinn's system, he had to put 210-pound safety in the box, and they were just running right at him every single time. He couldn't stop the run. And so if they're able to just stay healthy on the front seven with the D-line, the linebackers, that's going to at least give them a chance. And then, you know, what's the health going to be at corner? Obviously, Deron Bland coming back. You know, we don't know how far Trayvon is right now. And then what's going to happen with the secondary. So there's a lot what's going on. We don't know what anything is going to look like, which, as you mentioned, the expectations are very, very low, partly because, obviously, you have the Commanders and the Eagles obviously way above, and we don't have a clue what's going to happen. But I think this is exactly what Dallas wants. This is what they like. So in retrospect, in terms of like the public opinion, yes, they are flying under the radar, but you're totally correct in terms of like we don't have any expectations for them because we don't know.
See, you said I'm totally correct.
They can squeeze out 10
Well,
wins.
I mean, I can agree with you once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just so you heard correctly.
You know,
Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin is coming off of his 5th straight
Scary.
1,000-yard season with a career high in touchdowns, but he's absent from OTAs in minicamp while he waits for a contract extension. The latest report is that there's no update between the two sides, which is, quote, the problem. So, Will, are you concerned about the lack of movement on Scary Terry's contract?
I would say I'm pretty concerned because he is not just one of the most reliable players on the team, but in the entire organization. He's been the most consistent person in terms of what he's doing on the field. He's been an absolute leader on the team. He's been very calm, very patient, no drama. He's pretty much everything you want in a franchise player. And so for the fact that there hasn't been any movement, there has been zero talks, not anything, and for him to sit out and not miss, it kind of is like, if I'm a young guy on the team, I'm kind of looking like, oh, this is what it is. This is what it looks like. And so I'm concerned, too, because Dan Quinn, he does such a great job of building culture, building an organization, doing things how it should be so that you can sustain success for a long time. And so right now with your star player, with your main player, with your leader on that team, obviously Jaden's number one weapon, I'm very concerned, you know, because it's a critical year, right? Fortunately, they're in a win-now situation because of the success they had last year. So I would be concerned because this is a guy you need on your team, just chemistry alone. If you don't want any tension with a guy like that who's been there through it all and is now, you know, waiting to get a deal done.
Yeah, you know, I'm not concerned by the lack of movement right now. I got 3 weeks, you know, until camp, vets report. He understands his importance. And Jaden Daniels, I'm sure he understands his importance too. You know, then the panic will start to kick in when training camp comes. And listen, the Commanders going into training camp, they should be one of those teams like, guys, we can win the Super Bowl. Like, this is realistic right now. And so I'm not concerned, but a little surprised when those are the expectations coming into this season for the Commanders. Look, we got better. We added Debo. We added all these pieces. We got a quarterback of the now and the future. The everything is looking on the up and up. So the concern is not there now. But, like, once camp starts, when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, I need everyone there locked in. And I'm sure they'll get a deal done. Right now, you're at the point where both sides are playing chess. I'm not talking to you. You're not talking to me. And then, you know, there's going to be pressure when a week goes by. Then there's going to be a text. And then another week goes by. Now there's going to be some calls. And I truly feel like by the time that the vets report, they'll have a deal done. Everybody will be kumbaya happy and be ready for camp and getting ready for the season.
I'm with you. I think it's not necessarily concerning now, but you don't want to not have him in camp. So this needs to be a priority for them to get that done. They are a team that we absolutely think can contend for a Super Bowl this year. They had an unbelievable season last year. They were able to keep all of their coordinators. They were able to get better. And Terry McLaurin is a massive part of what they do offensively and what makes them so dangerous. And you're pairing him alongside Deebo Samuel. You want that pairing. Like, that's what.
Right, you. That's why you went and got him.
Yeah, you brought him in there so that you can have that kind of dynamic for Jaden Daniels to take advantage of. I mean, you're talking about, you know, anywhere from 33 to 40 million when you're average annual value when you're talking about the highest paid wide receivers. DK Metcalf is at $33 million, CD $34, Justin Jefferson $35, and obviously Jamar Chase got $40.25 million. Now that's the average annual value, not the guarantee, which is what Keyshawn would ask for. What's the guaranteed money? Which may be the thing that's holding it up. But I don't like him not being at training camp. You don't want to go into the season.
Yeah,
with
that's where I will hit the panic button. I am a little concerned because I would think someone like him would want to be there, but at the same time, him not being there, he probably feels like I should get this. And as you mentioned those numbers, like where does he fit in there? He probably feels like he's on the upper echelon based on what he offers to the team.
Well, he also had a career high in touchdowns last year, and having 5 straight seasons of 1,000.
Yeah, so I'm concerned, but as you both mentioned, once it hits training camp, he's not there. That's where.
But still, like this is what I be talking about. 4th of July, he ain't got no.
He got a little time pass.
He eating by himself.
Yeah,
that barbecue ain't gonna hit. He want that deal. Like once you get that deal up, you're gonna be
get that extra.
Give me the spatula.
Your plate, you're gonna be See, I gotta get it done before the 4th. I want my 4th to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, ribs, wild links, man. Come on, wait. Tracy, what's up? What we got on the grill? Like, man, when you ain't got that deal, you over there like, man.
Bumming everybody out.
Man, you bringing the energy
warm
down.
beer.
Man, you bringing the energy down at the barbecue.
Hopefully
you don't need to come, man. Just stay at home, bro.
Coming up, the NFL playoff leader in sacks the last 3 years. George Karlaftis joins the show to tell us how the Chiefs can return to the Super Bowl. That's next on Speak.
Okay, Georgie. Okay, dog.
Like that, here comes a rush against Stroud on 4th down, and he's going to go down. The Chiefs not only hold, they get a sack. George Karlaftis. Trouble and sacked at the 15-yard line. Karlaftis, the first to get to him.
Play action from Mayfield, and he's brought down back at the 20 by Karlaftis.
Connell has to escape, and he's dragged down from behind. George Karlaftis.
Joining us now is Chiefs defensive lineman George Karlaftis. Thanks for joining us, George.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You've been to the Super Bowl all 3 years.
That's crazy.
In this league. It's a very nice life. But how has this offseason been different than your first 2?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed to be a part of a great organization like the Kansas City Chiefs with a lot of great people, great coaches. Everybody in the organization's great. This offseason, we have a lot of motivation. We didn't finish the season quite like we wanted to. So this offseason compared to the other 2, there's more fuel to the fire. And we know what this team is capable of. Every single year we feel like we have a shot, and we just got to put the work in to make our dreams come true once more.
Man, that's excellent. Man, check this out. Man, talk to me about the confidence level of the team that y'all can win the AFC West for the 10th straight time. Jeez, this is sick.
Yeah, I mean, when you line up your goals at the beginning of the year, when Coach Reid's on in front of the team, it's like you want to win the Super Bowl, the AFC, and you got to win your division, the AFC West. So for us, it's one of our biggest goals every single year, and we're going to do everything we can to win that. We feel good about it every single year, and just like I said before, we're going to put in the work to make sure that happens.
How would you describe Steve Spagnuolo? Obviously, he's been legendary for you guys there. The consistency that you guys have had in coaching and how much that influences what you're able to do.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The consistency we've had, both with players and with coaches, kind of everybody in the building has been amazing. Kind of what's expected of you, what to expect going into the year, and it flows together greatly. With Spags, I mean, I love Spags. For us, he serves like a father figure. He leads out of a place of love and respect. And, you can't help but respect him just based on his resume. He's done everything. He's a Hall of Famer in all of our opinions, and we respect him tremendously, and we love him so much. And you play hard for somebody like that. So that's what it comes down to.
Would you describe your coaches as coaches or players coaches?
Oh,
That's a good one.
I would say players coaches for sure. All of them, all of our coaches were former players. They know the game. They know what the grind's like. Those dog days in camp. what you're feeling like, your body, all that stuff. They take care of us. They know when to push us. So I definitely say players, coaches for sure.
Man, talk to me. Hey, when I went into a season, I had certain games on my circle, right? Throughout the season I lived.
Yeah.
What quarterback is on that list? Who's at the top of the list? Talk to me that you're trying to get to.
Probably got him.
Did you get him?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my rookie year, we played Tampa Bay, and that was Tom Brady's last game, or his last year, and I really wanted to get him more than anything. I didn't, and Tom Brady was the one guy that I really, really, really wanted to get. I mean, the guys I want to get now, it's like the young guys, the younger guys that are the up and coming stars. You want to sack. First of all, they don't ask how, they ask how many. Usually with sacks, but you always want to sack those quarterbacks that are pretty elusive. They can move with their feet. I've gotten Josh, I've gotten Lamar. That kid Jaden Daniels, he's a good player, and we play them this year, so it'd be great to get somebody like him. Any of those young cats that are really proving their worth now in the league.
Nice.
Hey, George, Will Blackman here. I remember when I was playing, I got to see elite quarterbacks, once a year or maybe twice a year. And I've been fortunate when I was in Green Bay, I got to go against Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers every single day. So I got to see their body of work throughout the entire week. What do you see, and what is it like going against Mahomes like every single week? Like the things that you see that really we don't see all the time. Yeah,
I mean, Patrick, I love that question. Patrick shows up to work every single day. He's the same person. There's a consistency. When you're going against him, a lot of time you don't know what to expect because he can really do everything. He could do everything with his legs, throwing the ball. You see behind the back passes. It's stuff that you guys have seen, but just at another level because of practice and all the reps and stuff like that. So you got to be on your toes. And what that does, in our opinion, you see them. See a guy like Patrick throughout OTAs and camp and all that kind of stuff in practice during the season. Whenever we do, it gets you ready. It gets you prepared to face a guy like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, like all those guys. And it, for us, it just feels like he gets us better, and I hope we do him as well.
Who would you say? Pat's obviously a legendary quarterback. You mentioned some legendary quarterbacks, but was there a legendary defensive ends that inspired you as you were coming into the league? I know a thing or two about defensive ends.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I coming out of Purdue, Ryan Kerrigan was really like the guy. I loved Ryan Kerrigan. I love watching him. Now I know I call him like a mentor or a friend. He's amazing, but definitely Ryan Kerrigan. I love JJ Watt. I used to watch his highlights when I first started playing football. So, definitely him. And, if you want to throw in a real legend, I'd say Reggie White for sure. And Derek Thomas, let's throw him in there too. Those guys, a lot of greats in that conversation for sure.
Did you do Ryan's sack celebration yet, though? The HBK. Did you do that yet?
I haven't done that yet. And it was actually because I don't really have a sack celebration. It's kind of been on my mind. I might have to pull that one out this season. We'll see.
Just do a little. So Jason Kelce said that your rookie, Josh Simmons, reminds him of Trent Williams. That's some pretty high praise. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, Jason knows what he's talking about when he's talking about O-linemen, right? But there's definitely a lot of shades there. Just with the athleticism alone, his size, I think that's a fair comparison. Just off the intangibles alone. Let's see how he develops. I think he has all the tools, the intangibles, and the work ethic to be as great as he wants to be. But yeah, it's all about putting in the work at the end of the day. So, but I would agree with Jason's comparison for sure.
All right, I don't want to give too much away, but talk to me about Lee. What opposing offense has always given you the most trouble?
Oh, geez. Just looking back on the 3 years I've had with Kansas City, we've had some great battles. When you look at it, Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Broncos this past year. But for us, I mean, I think the Bills, what the past the past few years, whether it's regular season or playoffs, those are always hard-fought battles that come down to the wire. So I'd say Josh Allen, those Bills, man, they give us a tough time. We have all the respect in the world for those guys, and those always make for great games.
Nice.
Do you feel like the Chiefs' defense gets enough credit? Because obviously when we think of the Chiefs, rightfully so, we think of Patrick Mahomes, we think of Andy Reid, we think of Travis Kelce. But if we're being honest, especially last year, the defense has played a massive role in the success
Without a doubt.
of the Kansas City Chiefs. But when we're talking about defenses around the league that are disruptive and consistent, we rarely mention the Chiefs, even though I would say last year you guys were a defensive-led team.
The defense carried them last year, for sure.
You did. Do you think that you guys are a bit underrated?
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing it for the opinions of other people. We know that we have a great quarterback, and if we play well, we always have a chance at winning a game. We're just doing it. We want to win games at the end of the day, whether we get the credit, the offense gets the credit, whoever. It's about winning games, and that's kind of the culture we've had as a defense and as a team. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. As long as we win games, we're happy. So that's kind of my answer to that question. It's all about winning games, no matter what, by any means necessary.
Well, we give you the credit around here. We talk about the Chiefs defense a lot. So we like showing first pitches. Well, really, we like an opportunity to show Paul's first pitch, but you threw out a first pitch for the Royals.
I did.
Were you nervous? How did it go? We've got some all-time bad ones. So do you feel like yours was solid?
Mine was solid. I mean, I've never played baseball ever. We had a Chiefs celebrity baseball game.
That was solid.
That's really good.
That's solid.
The end result was solid. The form, the technique didn't look like those Royals guys pitching later in the game. But
that's solid.
For never having done it before, I was happy with the result.
Yeah,
I was happy with
it got there.
The technique.
It got there exactly.
It wasn't a slider.
Yeah, that was a strike though. Somebody would have hit that out the park. Mine's you ain't hitting this slider right here. Check out the slider. Right over the plate.
Man, come on now.
Slider is crazy.
You were on the mound. I was a little in front of the mound, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, you were on the mound, but getting it across the play is
that was a kickball pitch, Paul. What was that?
That hill is tall, and you got to throw down, but you got to throw it up. It's like you got to.
Baseball is we don't give them enough credit for how hard that is to do.
It's tough. It's tough.
Before we let you go, we've had a lot of defensive players on, and Paul is convinced that he has a move that you should take.
Right. Hold on. Before we go to this is what I need you to do. I need you to take this tape, take it back to training camp, and say, listen, this is going to be a new technique we could probably use. This is the future. You know what I'm saying? You could probably put this in your game too.
I'll show Joe Cullen and Steve Spagnuolo, our defensive line.
Yes, give it to them and say, hey, this is this is what we need to start working on, guys. So check it out.
Yeah.
Explain, Paul.
Boom, boom, hey, around. There we go. Check that out. Check that out. You got to watch the footwork. Hold on, replay it. Replay it.
Can we replay it?
No, we got to watch the foot. Boom, boom. Then around him. Get out of there. That's a for sure sack coming. I faked him one way.
I don't know if it's a for sure sack coming, but
boom.
There's a little jab step, which is, I guess, part of doing a move.
George was disgusted.
George was trying so hard.
He said, "Ooh."
Wait, no, he worked on it some more.
I worked on it some more. I got a new one though.
So
here we go. I got low on this one.
New one.
This the one. Boom, boom, boom. That's a sack. That's a sack right there.
That's quick.
That's quick. That's what I'm saying.
There. But if you throw in a hand move, that'd be my suggestion, my advice. If you throw in a hand move, you'll have a chance.
George, don't be nice to him, George.
Right,
don't be nice to him. That move is trash.
Take that to training camp.
If you throw in a hand move, a little club rip, you'll have a fighting chance.
Okay, yeah, swivel move or something.
Yeah,
okay,
swivel.
Something like that. Yeah.
He doesn't have. He's working on it. He's getting like the footwork and then low, and now he's got to get the handwork.
No doubt.
Oh man.
Thank you for being nice to Paul. Thank you for joining us, George. Best of luck this year. We really appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Thank you again.
Coming up, who is taking their team farther this season, LeBron or Aaron Rodgers? That's next on Speak. LeBron James and Aaron Rodgers are both in their 40s and are entering their 23rd and 21st seasons, respectively. LeBron's Lakers got bounced in the first round of the playoffs after adding Luka, and Rodgers will be trying to lead the Steelers to its first Super Bowl since 2009. So,
Ooh.
Paul, you kind of teed this up a little bit yesterday, gave it a little tease.
Battle with a 40-year-old.
Yes, you did.
Who will lead their team further this season, LeBron or Aaron Rodgers?
I'm listening.
Dang. I got the Lakers getting dumped in the first round. Swept, probably. Man, then Rodgers, you got DK. Dang, these the 40. I guess I got to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they got to win a playoff game. They ain't won a playoff game in like 5-6 years. I got to go with, if I had to bet life on the line.
Life on the line?
I can't bet with the
How did
Lakers.
we got you so far away from life on the line.
I know, huh?
You haven't done that in so long.
I ain't done that in so long.
Life on the line
I
is
got to
like
roll
OD.
with Mike Tomlin.
Everything
I got
would be like,
all right,
life on the line.
Steelers. Life on the line.
I don't want this. I don't want these options. Why is it gonna be
I'm
that
saying
serious?
Lakers.
The combination of Mike Tomlin and Rodgers
We don't know what that's like.
versus the combination of J.J. Redick and LeBron, Lakers are cooked. I'm going.
True Celtic.
2016 is the
Like a
last
true
time the
Celtic.
Steelers won a playoff game. I think that the Lakers will go.
question.
I think the Lakers will make it past the first round this year. I do not think.
Luka gonna be in shape.
I don't think that the Steelers are winning. I don't think the Steelers are making it to the playoffs.
Oh, that's
Steelers
aggressive.
might win that division.
Isn't that your team?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a foregone
No wishful thinking,
conclusion.
no hopeful, no nothing.
Well, I watched Aaron Rodgers win 5 games last year. So
And with
if
the
I'm
Jets.
giving him
With the
an
Jets.
increase of say 3 more games, which is a lot, that brings him to the grand total of 8.
Joy, take
which
him
I
away
do
from
not
the
think-
Jets.
I understand, but it was a situation he created, so I'm not like going to negate that. They have a ton of young talent.
Now he's in the situation Tomlin created.
I think he's not going to have a losing season. I just don't think that, I think he's going to have the first losing season that Mike Tomlin has. I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs. I think their ceiling is winning a playoff game. I think the Lakers have a higher ceiling than that. So I'm going to say that LeBron and the
Yeah,
Lakers.
I agree. With LeBron, LeBron's still playing. So that's how I feel. And Luka's going to be better. They're going to be better. I think they actually get out the first round.
They can't beat nobody. They ain't got no defense, no big man. Like
They're going to get a big man.
Luka's gonna get numbers. LeBron is gonna get. I don't see LeBron playing 65 games this year. I mean, he's 41. He's gonna have to take some rest. Come on, if they want a long playoff run, he might not play a lot, half the season, just so he's ready for the playoffs. I'm looking at all these little things. They got no depth. They just lost Dorian Finney-Smith, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, who they got coming? Oh, Deandre Ayton will help a little bit as far as a big man.
They'll help a lot
They
of
can
it.
they got to expect the development of like Dalton Connects has to get better. I don't know who off their bench is going to be really a force outside of Connect. So it's a better chance at Rodgers getting a playoff win than the Lakers are not winning a playoff series. They lost in 5 this year, and then they got swept the year before, and then something like that the year before, and they didn't get better. So if I'm a betting man, I got to take.
Just bet money, not your life.
No, I'm a bet. I throw some chips on it. But
Life on the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bet Rodgers because that's the thing. The Lakers got to win 4 out of 7 games in the playoffs, but Rodgers can have a great day if they make the playoffs.
Right, one game.
In one game, and they can win. So I got to take that chance with one game.
That's fair.
So you're going Lakers and LeBron.
Lakers. Just because I have an idea versus like the Steelers, I just don't know. I don't know. I had a lot of faith with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets the first year. I thought that was it, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, see, I did not. I didn't know that he was going to tear his Achilles, but I don't think that. I think he's a wash. It's a wash at the quarterback position from what they had last year. Obviously, I think DK is a great addition, but I don't have a ton of faith in what Aaron's going to do for an entirety of a season in a really tough division against Cincinnati. Obviously, they still have some issues defensively, but the Ravens are likely going to win that division again. Cincinnati
way
will be
better.
right there.
They got better,
And
yeah.
then when you talk about if they're competing for what we expect to be a wild card bid because they're not going to win the division, there's so many good teams. I mean, just the AFC West every team in the AFC West could potentially be a playoff team. Like there's so much competition around the AFC for those wild card spots.
I would say Lakers may go further, but I think Steelers finished second in the North.
Who will give us more topics this year? Rodgers or LeBron? Like, they're going to say something.
Rodgers.
Look, if Rodgers is going to say something on the show he go on, and Bron got his own podcast, who going to give Rodgers? Rodgers is going to be.
Rodgers, no
LeBron
question.
just said something about ring culture. He just said something about something else.
Yeah.
Rodgers is going to get that every week.
Yeah, don't get
He's
comfortable.
going to say something.
Rodgers
This is
make
the
you
offseason.
mad.
Yeah.
LeBron won't make you mad. Rodgers will make you mad.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see who he's going to point at.
He's going to throw under the bus? Man, if Rodgers threw me on the bus, we would have had to squabble up. No, come on, man. You can't be just throwing
Which move you going to use?
This is my deal. This is my deal as a former professional athlete. Like, bro, we in the locker room, right? The locker room right here, we all right here. If you got something to say about me, I'm right here. Like, P, you should have did this better today. If you had rolled out right instead of left, I'm right here every day. We lift weights together. We in the bus, the plane, the showers, and all of that. We right here. Like, man, we ain't got to talk about it in the shower, but when I get out the shower, like, I'm right here.
You wear together?
Like, yeah, like, come on. Like, but it's conversation,
You didn't shower?
Yeah, it's conversation. The shower.
solo
It's locker
shower as
room.
well?
No. It was locker room talk and shower talk.
You did not take your stinky self.
To my crib,
Into your
I went
crib.
home. Go ahead.
All right.
No, you be, you know what I'm saying? You showering like, yeah, man, you should have did this better. My back not to the shower. No, I don't talk like
We
that.
don't have to describe the shower.
Because you gotta say, in
I'm
locker
just saying I
room.
don't believe that Will went home. You did not walk off that stinky field.
Oh, he
and
took
put
one.
Shower pill. I
Shower
play with
pill.
Justin Forsett. He has Shower Pill, the brand.
Yeah, the brand shower.
Shout out to
pill.
Justin. Shower Pill.
Coming up, Wemby has already had an eventful summer, but wait until you see what sport he's conquering now. That's not Wemby.
Oh, man.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs,
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
for most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Time to check in on our social life. Victor Wembanyama has been having quite the off-season, and his latest adventure took him to the soccer field. During a recent pickup game, he scored on a beautiful free kick, snuck in at the top of the net. Paul, do you think you could have made that goal?
Or stop it.
I'm stopping that easy all day. I could have been a goalie. I could still be a goalie. Let me see what he got. Penalty kick right here. I can't see where he at. He's supposed to be the
Right
top.
there, look at that.
Oh, boom. Ooh, that was
Top
sick.
right, you ain't getting that.
I'm getting that. That kid didn't even move for
Can
the
you make?
for the
Can you
stop.
make that?
No, I can't kick. I'm a stopper. Look, he did the penalty kick.
Still have to kick if you're.
No, I'm over here. Boom, I'm gonna get to that. Get that.
Even a goalie, you got to kick it out of there. Go. You know.
No, I got that. We can do the challenge.
I think we got.
You can get Lionel Messi. You can line them up.
We got footage of him kicking the ball, right?
Give him 10 kicks.
Oh, we do have.
I'm gonna stop.
Paul's right about that. Yeah, we do have.
No, my kick game ain't nothing. I'm weak. Look at this. But then that's Dorsey. They don't got no grass. No grass. Look, I'm kicking off dirt. Look at this. I'm supposed to kick off some turf or grass.
And some Air Forces?
I'm kicking off, but this is dirt though. How am I kick off dirt?
What you mean I gotta kick off dirt?
Pulled your
Look at my
hamstring.
Look. I'm kicking off dirt. Who kicks off dirt?
What you need, a mound and a tee?
No, I need. Come on now. That's dirt. Come on. That's dirt.
Why did you
I
let
expect
them
that.
First of all, hold on.
this.
If we slow this down, you kicked it with your heel. That's what.
No. This is dirt.
he
If
told
I
it.
had grass or all up in some turf, I would have had that.
Let's
Come
see
on now.
what's
I was working at a disadvantage already in the dirt.
Yeah,
Come
you
on
could've
now. Come on, Dorsey.
Put up.
Do better. We got to take this to Inglewood. At least we got grass. No
It
grass
was
at
that-
Dorsey.
You wanna go to SoFi?
There's
Yeah, we gotta go to
bit of-
SoFi.
A little bit of dust kicking up there.
Come
But
on.
listen, you got to try. You can catch more soccer tomorrow on FS1 with the Gold Cup semifinal. The U.S. men's national team takes on Guatemala. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6 Eastern on FS1.
Where that game at? It's here?
The new front office in Denver has been busy since the start of free agency. The Nuggets traded Michael Porter Jr. and a 2032 first-round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson. Yesterday, they also landed Jonas Valanciunas from the Kings in exchange for Dario Saric, they've also brought back Bruce Brown in free agency and reportedly added Tim Hardaway Jr.
Wait, Valanciunas. Wait, what'd you say about Valanciunas?
Chunas.
They added Valanciunas too? What? Did I hear that? I didn't hear that. The Denver Nuggets added Valanciunas.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yes, sir.
From the Kings in exchange for Dario Saric.
Hold
on. They brought back Bruce Brown.
They back. No, for real. No,
so
for real.
are you on Houston or are you on Denver?
Listen, Denver just pushed the champs to 7 games with the injured Aaron Gordon and no depth. And Michael Porter Jr. was no different than David Copperfield, just disappearing all over the place, up and down. See, I feel like Cam Johnson is an upgrade because of the way he played. Because he not only can knock down shots, he's aggressive going to the rim. He could play some defense. I think that was an upgrade at that position. He just got to get integrated with the offense. Then you bring back Bruce Brown, who we know is a huge part of their championship run. Then I'm saying, what? Y'all added Valanciunas? The backup center? Valanciunas still got something left in the tank. I like him. He a double-double threat off your bench. And did I hear right they added Tim? Did they add Tim Hardaway Jr.? Denver won the summer, y'all. I'm telling y'all, Denver won the summer. At first it was, man, I'm about to cancel my lease in Houston. Man, I'm about to move to Denver for the conference finals, huh? Man, I don't know, man. The West is getting thick. Woo, it's getting thick.
So
man.
I'm just gonna rip this off.
No, it's getting, man, I'm telling you.
Nuggets.
Woo.
Did the Nuggets do enough for Jokic? And I guess your answer is yes.
Man, Jokic should be right now riding some horses, doing what he do. When it's, he like to ride them horses. He need to be, man, smoking a cigar like, yeah, we back, baby. Here we go. Let's go. If I'm Jokic right now, I'm excited. I'm like, man, I got more depth. I got some experience. I got a backup center. This is going to be a problem in the West. They just leapfrog a lot of teams. There's tiers to this. And Denver just leaped up to the tier with OKC. And I believe that the Houston Rockets are in that tier. Everybody else is still trying to catch up. What Denver has done this offseason has been more than enough to please Jokic. I'm happy for Denver. I think this is going to be one of the more exciting Western conferences in years to come because you got to understand, there's still some teams that haven't made it to that tier that I believe can still make some moves. There's going to be some trades and things that's going to happen that's going to elevate some other teams, but the West is compared. The West is going to be a gauntlet. It really is. This is what you love about the NBA, and we haven't had a repeat champion in over 7 years. Mm-hmm. So I have to think I can't bet on the Thunder to repeat with all these moves. Denver, Houston, man, I'm ready for the season start now. Man.
Yeah, before those last 2 moves, I'm just gonna.
Trust your notes?
Yeah, my notes. Yeah, forget that.
It's time to go. It's time to bet on Rodgers to make it further now.
Yeah, I think they did enough. Not only did they get, like you said, the depth, but they got some dogs. They got guys that are going to defend and help offensively. And you mentioned guys who have played championship caliber basketball. So no, I love this. I think this is great. Jokic should be excited.
The depth. They added depth. That was the one thing that kept them back.
Yeah, and I think that was their issue last year. Yeah. And when we look at the finals with the Pacers and the Thunder, that was something that really benefited both of those teams, is the strength and the depth that they had on their roster. So, I mean, I think the Nuggets had done a good job leading up to before we had the extra news of the other pieces that they had brought in.
Wow.
But going to a Game 7 with the Thunder, they really only needed a piece or two anyway. So I think this, I would agree with you. I think this has bulked up the top of the West with the Nuggets, Houston, and the Thunder. There still can be some teams that can sneak up in there. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see what else the Timberwolves do.
Man, you right on it.
Right.
Good call.
The Clippers obviously are a team that was good last year and made some additions, but we still have questions about what they're able to do in the postseason, but they'll be a good team again next year. And, there's still some time before July 4th and the sad guy, upset over his ribs at the barbecue. But the Nuggets are a team that has a lot of consistency and the best player in the league. So putting some pieces around him and giving him some depth is a big deal.
What's Joker's barbecue going to look like?
Man, Joker, he going to have the ribs. He going to have the rib tips, macaroni, greens, baked beans. Man, he going to have the...
Does he have coleslaw at his barbecue?
Nah, Serbians don't eat coleslaw.
They don't eat coleslaw?
We good. We good on that. We're going to have the seasoned fries. Come on now. He going to be popping. The lobster tails, lamb chops. Man, his 4th of July going to be lit. Hey, Joker, I'm coming to your 4th of July. I know you lit.
You got lobster tails at your barbecue?
Yeah, that's the late night.
Oh, Paul Rich.
Oh, man, that's the late night, though.
You got crab legs?
It's the after,
No,
like after the burgers and stuff?
Yeah, this is after. That's the
Are they even burgers?
The crab and the lobsters is at the night. This is the general admission nighttime. VIP.
Whoever stuck around.
We're stuck around.
It's the ones that can stay. Everyone else got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got lobster tail, lamb chop, we got all that. Man, the Joker barbecue.
I ever had a lobster tail at a barbecue, ever.
That's rich.
Man. Ooh, Juneteenth. We ate it all.
There have been plenty of moves during these first 2 days of free agency. So, Paul, who is your winner of free agency so far? Earlier, you said Atlanta. Then you were moving to Houston.
Oh.
You love what the Nuggets did. So, who you got?
You got a lot of miles on that flight,
Sorry,
Paul.
Houston. I crowned them the winner early. I'm moving to Denver. I'm coming to the Mile High City. It's a lot of excitement surrounding. You got the best player. You got depth. You got motivation. Man, they gonna win 60+ games. Joker is on a revenge tour to bring his MVP trophy back, because I truly believe right now you can go put $100 on him MVP. That's gonna turn something. So I gotta go with Denver right now, because I'm looking at teams that were right there. I mean, the Lakers haven't done nothing. They regressed. I haven't seen anything, Golden State, anything significant there. Minnesota, they just re-signed their players, which is good, but they needed, and they lost a key player too, Alexander, Minnesota, so they need to get some extra pieces. But head and shoulders, top of the top, best of the best right now is Denver right now as far as off-season moves. Yes, Houston got Kevin Durant. They also they re-signed Van Vliet, and they added...
That's what
they re-signed Steven Adams.
Steven Adams, Jabari Smith.
Yeah. Signed Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella.
Jeff Green got a new deal, and the coach.
Houston, this is the thing for Houston, and Houston can compete. If Jabari Smith Jr. can make the leap to where I can count on him for between 15 and 18 a night, consistent. On a bad night, you got to give me 15. On your good nights, 25. Great night, 30. If he can give me that night and night with consistent shooting from 3, then there'll be a problem. But we have yet to see that, and this is the year where guys usually make the leap. So I'm looking for a lot out of Jabari
Smith Jr.
Smith Jr., right? Yes.
And I think, too, definitely seeing where Amen Thompson goes, too. I think, obviously, with him.
Oh, they got him.
Yeah.
That's right. They good. They good. They going to be good.
That boy good. Who do you have?
I have Houston's my team. Yeah, I got Houston.
I also have Houston. As we said, they re-signed Steven Adams, extended Ime, traded for KD, re-signed
everybody,
extended Jabari Smith Jr., signed Dorian Finney-Smith, signed Clint Capella. I do love the moves that the Nuggets have made, and maybe that will end up being enough to put them back into the finals, because they do have Jokic. But the Rockets were ahead of schedule last year.
Right, with Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green.
Right. But I'm saying that they have the established culture, and I think adding someone like a Kevin Durant puts you in a different category in order to compete. Obviously, we know what happened last year in Phoenix, but this is a different situation. So I would say it's between the Nuggets and the Rockets. I'm going to go with the Rockets because of KD, but it's been an exciting offseason so far in free agency period. We'll see what other moves come up. Coming up, how much pressure is on Tua after the Dolphins traded away Jalen Ramsey? That's next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. Pro Bowl running back Raheem Mostert had some strong words for his former team after the Dolphins dealt Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. Mostert ripped the Dolphins for treating star players poorly, saying, "Hot take, be a Pro Bowler on the Dolphins, get treated like bleep." Happy for my guys, though. Go ball out.
Damn.
Man, that's how the business
Are you concerned about the culture down in Miami?
No, this is business. We all know that. I mean, I done seen coaches win championships get fired next year. You know, I mean, it's not about what you accomplish, it's what they can afford. I've never had an issue with Miami culture down there. I think they're doing a wonderful job year in and year out. No, it's no big deal. We see it every year, all the time, all sports. You know, when guys get traded, you know, it feels a certain way. It's like, for real, it's some feelings in
the
that.
Quiver, is that what that was?
You know, that quiver lip when you get traded, because we don't want to be there and stuff. You know, sometimes it's, you know, you form a bond with the city, with the players on the team and the coaches, and then you get shipped out, and when you think, you know, you should be part of the foundation, it hurts. You know, and players hate to say it, it really does hurt. And so, you know, I understand it.
No, I'm extremely concerned because Raheem's still in the league. Like, he's still in the league saying this stuff. And obviously, whatever you say, you got to be careful what you say when you put it out there. And for him to tweet that exact thing, and he's someone just based on how we know him, like a respected person in this league, a respected veteran in this league. And for him to say that, I'm extremely concerned because you look at right now with Tua, and he has his massive contract, and obviously the concern of his health, it just hasn't been there. And Miami has not won a playoff game since, 2000, I believe it is.
Right.
And then it was cool when, it was cool.
25 years?
Yes. Won a playoff game. And it was cool. Yeah, Mike McDaniels came in, had, you know, the quirky, different personality, but all of us sat back like, okay, is he still going to be a leader of men? And that is the key when you are a head coach. When you have a room full of alphas, are you still going to be a leader of men? Because for me, I'm like, it's all cool. When someone asks me, oh, how's your team going to be? How's your team going to be? I'm like, it looks cool right now, but what's going to happen when stuff hits the fan? Like, how are you going to handle it when you're dealing with adversity? And so far, you got, you know, Tyreek with his interview saying, I'm out. You know, you make the trade with Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen's the type of guy where he wants to be somewhere where the culture is good and he wants to win football games because he's seen what it looks like in the Rams. You got that. You got Jonas Smith getting traded away. And I just felt like towards the end of last year, I just felt like Mike McDaniel was losing this team. And now you have guys on social media saying like, yeah, be a Pro Bowler and get treated like trash. Let you know right now, like, it ain't all cool down there. Like, you can have all the fast receivers and do all these things, but right now it doesn't look cool. And so I think the pressure is on everybody in that place. And so, and then you lose, you know, Terron Armstead. He retired. He was a veteran there.
Well, Jalen Ramsey is now the fourth captain to leave the Dolphins this
Fourth
offseason.
captain.
Yeah. Tua and head coach Mike McDaniel have yet to win a playoff game in their 3 seasons together in Miami. So after the trade, how much pressure is on Tua and Mike McDaniel this season, Paul?
Well, there's going to be some pressure because, you know, they're going into their 4th season, but you got to understand, they won 9 games last year, 11 games the year before, and Tua, everything's dependent on his health.
Yeah.
He missed 6 games. I mean, let's just say he don't miss those 6 games. They're probably good for, like, the playoffs. I mean, they ended 9-8. Out of those 6 games, you figure, let's say he goes 3-3. I mean, they could have won 12 games. So maybe there is some pressure. You know, I do believe they'll make the playoffs, but I feel like they got to win in the playoffs. They have to give me a win. They haven't won in 25 years. I mean, at this point, it's like, man, what are we out here playing for? So, but the most important part is hopefully Tua can stay healthy this year, and because that's a big part of what they need and moving forward if they're going to win a playoff game.
I think it's a lot of pressure. Every year we've had expectations for the Dolphins. It's either they can't win because Tua's hurt or they can't win because it's cold. They have these exciting games during the regular season.
They put up 70 points?
Yeah, they have these exciting games during the regular season. They have all this talent. They look a certain way. But when it's time to put it all on the line, it never comes together. And they were 8-9, Tua missed 6 games. Tua played all 17 games. They were 11-6. And Tua missed 4 games last year, as you mentioned, and they went 9-8. So Tua being paid, there's already been some conversation about the culture and is Mike McDaniel the right guy for the job. I think this year is very, very important. The Bills have continued to have a reign over this division. I think the Patriots are going to be better than they have the past couple of years. I think the Jets are going to be better than they have the past couple of years. Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure on the Dolphins to take a step up this year. And losing players like they've lost, this offseason. I mean, four captains, really, really big stars.
That lets you know right there, 4 captains. You don't think like, yeah, I understand Terrell Armstead had injuries and stuff he was
How many
dealing with.
captains is on one team?
I'm saying like different captains. You can have as many as you want. I think you can put whatever you want. But I just feel like historically, that's how it's been. When Russ and Pete Carroll dealt with stuff, you know, they came out with their thing and all of a sudden broke up. Cam, Matt Rule, Jay Cutler, Mark Trestman. Like historically, when players start talking, like you know there's a problem there, and eventually something happens.
Coming up, it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
Bobby!
Still have the best contract in all of sports. That's next.
Give me that jet, dog.
It's July 1st, and that means it's time to celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day. Every July 1st, from 2011 through 2035, former World Series champion Bobby Bonilla is paid another $1.19 million from the Mets after agreeing to a deferred deal with the team back in 2000. I love today.
I'm coming to your barbecue. His barbecue gonna be lit.
What? He's got lobster at his barbecue.
He started planning it in January.
Man, he gonna have burnt ends. He gonna have rib tips, all of that. I'm coming over, Bobby B.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it today. It's so great. That's it for us. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day. And if you're Bobby, have the best day.